There was once a woman who had a cat. She was a cruel woman and treated her cat badly. One day, the prophet told his friends a story about this bad woman. She did not look after the cat properly, he said. She did not give it anything to eat or drink. Because of this, the cat became very thin, and its fur began to fall out. This woman had a very bad temper. When she was angry, she used to kick her cat or throw it out through the door and make it stay out in the street all night. Before long, the cat became very frightened of the woman. Each time she came near it, the cat cried and hid underneath a table or a chair. The woman's neighbours were very angry with her. One day, a neighbour came to see her. "You are very cruel to your cat," the neighbour said. "A cat is one of Allah's living creatures, just as we are. You are doing a great wrong." The woman was very angry when she heard this. "Go away," she shouted at her neighbour. "The cat belongs to me. I will treat it badly if I want to. Go away. Leave me alone." The neighbour was very unhappy to hear this. Then he thought of a plan to save the cat. He went back to his house and waited until nightfall. Next door, he heard the cruel woman shouting at her cat. "Get out of here, you dirty animal!" she was shouting. "I will not have you in my house tonight." The neighbour heard the cruel woman open her front door. Then he heard the cat crying and howling as the woman threw it out into the street. Then she slammed her door shut. The neighbour waited for a few moments to make sure the woman would not come out of her house again. Then he went out into the street. There was the cat, sitting pitifully by the woman's front door. The cat was crying and sniffing at the door, hoping the woman would open it and let it in. The neighbour's heart was filled with pity for the cat. "You poor creature," he said. "Look how thin you are." He bent down and picked up the cat. He stroked its head until it stopped crying. "I'll take you to my house, and I'll give you some food," the neighbour said. When he got back to his house, he filled a plate with food and gave it to the cat. The cat ate hungrily. Soon the plate was empty. The neighbour filled the plate again. Again it ate all the food very quickly. But at last the cat had had enough and lay down on the floor and fell fast asleep. Next morning, the cruel woman could not find her cat. She looked everywhere. She searched in the street, she searched in the market, but the cat was nowhere to be found. The woman was very angry. "Someone has stolen my cat," she said to herself. Then she remembered what her neighbour had said the previous day. He had tried to stop her treating her cat cruelly. "That neighbour of mine has my cat," she said. "He must be the one who has stolen it." So she went to her neighbour's house. She banged on the door and shouted angrily. The neighbour opened the door. "I know you have stolen my cat," the woman shouted at him. "You are a thief. Give it back to me at once." "No," said the neighbour, "you are a cruel woman. You do not deserve to have a cat." "I want that cat. Give it back," the woman shouted. She was getting angrier and angrier. "I will not give you your cat until you promise that you will treat it kindly," the neighbour replied. When the woman heard that, she laughed to herself. "Silly man," she thought. "All I have to do is promise to treat my cat well, and he will give it back to me." So the woman pretended not to be angry any more. She smiled at her neighbour. "Of course I will treat the cat well if you give it back to me," she said in a friendly voice. "You promise?" the neighbour demanded. "Yes, yes, I promise," the woman replied. "You will give the cat enough to eat, and you will not throw it out of the house at night?" "Of course not," the woman said sweetly. "I will feed the cat and look after it properly from now on. I will not be cruel to my cat ever again." Did the woman keep her promise? No, she did not. Unfortunately, though, the neighbour had believed her. He had not thought that she was telling lies. He gave the cat back to her. The cruel woman took the cat back to her house and treated it more cruelly than ever before. She tied a rope round its neck, and then she tied the rope to a chair. Once again, she gave the poor cat nothing to eat or drink. It became thinner and thinner, and weaker and weaker. After a short while, it died. "What a terrible thing to do!" cried one of the friends of the prophet. "What a very cruel and wicked woman!" The prophet agreed. This made Allah very angry with the cruel woman, he told his friends. Of course, the woman was not only cruel, she had told lies as well. She had committed a great sin because she had ill-treated one of Allah's living creatures. The man who gave the thirsty dog water was forgiven his sins because he acted kindly towards a living creature. But this woman, who treated her cat cruelly, was not forgiven her sins. Allah sent her to hell.